watching Rose Card Reviews. I'm Melanie, and I have a guest with me today.
Hi, I'm Elle.
This is actually Kay's younger sister. I brought Elle with me to talk about just kind of books to movies and that whole dynamic, and if it can be done well. And today we're going to be discussing the book Holes, and it's, I think, in my opinion, and I think Elle should have the same opinion, that it's a book that was well adapted into a movie.
Yeah.
So we're just going to give you a couple examples so you can be like, what, really, is that possible? Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, to make a good book to movie, what are some of the things that you think there should be?
Let's see. Well, I know, like, when, as a reader, when you think of, like, all I want for, like, a book to movie is, like, for them to follow the exact, like, picture for picture, word for word, in the book, and just a movie adaptation of exactly how I imagine it in my brain. But that's also kind of unrealistic. And as a movie adaptation, you do need to make some changes, especially with, like, the stories being told in a different format visually as opposed to, like, on words, and then you also have some constraint for time depending on, like, how long your original information format thingy book is that you're basing it off of.
What are the things, it's like, I want this to at least resemble the book in some way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just hate it when movies completely go off the rails and you're like, is this the same story? I don't know. But
yeah.
I also think, like, it should have at least some of the same messages, and you're able to recognize that, well, oh, that's this character, and, you know, that's the plot point of whatever.
Yeah, and it has, like, the same, I mean, at least in Holes, I think it did a good job of, like, having the same feeling of, like, carrying that on. It's like, I read this book in, like, school. Did you read Holes in school?
No, I just, Kate.
Yeah.
Had me read it.
Yeah. She's like, you need to read this. So it was, like, required reading, and then I think we watched the movie. And as a kid, I was very surprised that, like, Stanley, I don't know if you, all the viewers that are, like, familiar with this, but we're just going to go on the assumption that you know what's going on. I was surprised that in the movie, Stanley wasn't overweight like he is in the book.
Yeah, that is one of the bigger changes.
Yeah. But I think, given that there'd just be, like, a really hard thing to put on the shoulders of, like, a young child actor to be like, okay, you're gonna do this, and they're working in, like, a really hot environment because they're outside, they're not on a set, and so just, like, trying to be medically safe, and also, like, you don't want to, like, force a child to, like, lose weight over, like, a short period of time. Like, that's just child abuse. Let's not.
Yeah. And I think I saw that they were talking that they shoot out of order. So it's really hard to get, like, oh, how much should he be weighing right now?
Yeah.
That's just one of the details they had to cut because it is a movie.
Yeah.
They did keep in, like, a lot of the details, though.
They did.
Especially, like, certain lines you could quote.
I know. I was so happy. I watched the movie recently, and then I was like, I should reread the book, because I hadn't read it since, like, 5th grade. And then I read it, and then I was like, oh, that's, like, word for word, like, what they say in the movies. And so that was a fun little Easter egg to,
It's really fun to see that they kept in so much. And they really did it justice, I think.
Yeah. I think I did notice on some occasions, like, certain lines are, like, maybe one character says it in the book, and then, like, in the movie, another character says it. I think partially with, like, X-Ray's character, like, in the book, he's a lot more aloof, and he's almost kind of, like, Stanley befriends most of the kids in D Camp, but, like, X-Ray was always, like, on the outside. Like, when they come back, and, like, they're like, oh, you're alive! X-Ray's, like, kind of on the outside of the group, and then, like, after a while, he just, like, goes back into the rec room. But in, like, the movie, they're all, like, modgepodging him, you know?
But I was surprised, though, like, how when I reread the book, like how well the characters fit.
Yeah.
The descriptions given in the book. Like when I was reading, I'm like, that's exactly what they look like.
Like, are you talking like mostly physical appearance or like just the way the actors interpret them?
I think kind of all of it. Just, I don't know, I hadn't remembered being like, oh, that's exactly how I pictured them. Yeah. But like rereading it, I'm like, that's how they just were described.
Yeah.
It struck me when I was reading it.
Yeah. Something I was surprised, like, I had more recently watched the movie, but it had been a while since I had read the book. So, like, after I watched the movie, I was kind of, like, wondering if they do, like, the little flashbacks in the book. Yeah. Like, or if they just do it, like, all in one big, like, oh, here's the prologue, here's, like, what happened before, and then now this is the present, and then Stanley's at Camp Green Lake and stuff. But they did it pretty much, like, consecutively to... Yeah. Like, it matched up pretty well.
Definitely. Yeah. And I just thought it's such a good story to begin with. They didn't really mess with it. And I let the author, I think he wrote the screenplay.
Yeah, and he did.
So that's something I think all book to movies should
author involvement, very important.
Very much. So they were able to keep the story intact and the messages. Just, I don't know, the whole... friendship and consequences to action really came through in the movie, and it wasn't just like, oh, it's a little fun children's movie. Yeah,
it was, because it has some kind of darker moments as well.
Yeah, definitely, with the flashbacks.
And just like all the kids are juvenile delinquents, but then they've also come from like hard situations at home.
Yeah, and it's like they're still people.
So thank you, Ella, for coming, and always welcome back, and for your expertise on topic. and shared enthusiasm is always appreciated. Yes, so.
It's just a really good book.
It is a really good book.
And a really good movie, too.
Yeah. So if
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf, before he became, like, was it the Terminator that he was? No, that's something different. I haven't seen the movie that he was
before he was
attributed famously to. But, yeah. And if you haven't read the book Holes or seen the movie, then we'd recommend that you do that, because you're missing out, honestly.
Definitely.
It's pretty great.
Go to your nearest bookstore and buy it, and then go to the nearest video rental place. Yeah. And rent it, or go online or something.
Yep. Actually, I got my copy at a thrift store for 35 cents.
That's a great deal.
Because it's... When did it come out? Originally?
Years ago.
Text copyright 1998. So, it's been a hot second. Y'all have had time to get on this.
21 years, yeah.
Yeah. What you waiting for?